GTV, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Good morning.
What's up?
I'm giving up at this point.
Don't give up. Give in. Give in. or give out. Or give down. Or give them.
Give side. At some point, we'll have studio audience.
Give them.
And they will have a jolly good time.
Give side. One time. Good morning, everybody. We're giving it to you nice and hot on a Wednesday like this. Today is the 17th, yeah? 17th of July, 2024. You're welcome to GTV Breakfast, your favorite way to wake up. My name is Kaf.
My name is Val. And I'm T.
And you are you. What's up? What's up? What do we have?
Yes, indeed.
Today we're talking kidney health.
Okay.
And
important.
so we'll talk to a dietitian to tell us all the foods we can eat that can help us maintain a healthy kidney. I think it's a good conversation.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah, because the kidneys take out waste, and so we need to treat them well.
Detoxifier.
Yeah. The Zoom lion of the body.
Did you have to say that?
Needs to be treated well.
Yes, indeed.
What else do we have? What else do you have?
Well, I'm going to SMC later with Jay.
Okay. Oh, Jay's back.
Yes, Jay's back, people. Jay's back. And then later on, we are talking extreme fashion with Annie.
Okay.
So the guy goes to Kanta, goes to pick up some old clothes, come back into his place, and he turns it into high fashion. So people, high fashion is at the end of the breakfast table.
All right. And then we head out to Unimac.
Yes.
Used to be called GIJ.
GIJ campus is hosting us today for a massive town hall.
Yeah.
We are talking realities of student life.
Yes.
What's your experience being a student? Share them with us. Our WhatsApp number is live and active 055 55 61034. What has been your experience as a student, and what does it mean today, 2024, in these times, being a student? Unimac, GIJ will host us.
Here we come. From all of us former students here to another former student who's going to give us the news. Her name is Maltiti. I think she went to GIJ as well, just like me. And just like you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Not like you.
No,
yes.
I was GIJ.
But you went to school.
UCC, yes, indeed.
Breakfast news next. Give them. Bye-bye.
If you're in Ghana or out of the country, well, you can also watch us live on social media. Take us to work at GTV Ghana. We're streaming on Facebook. Let's begin from the president, who has disclosed that government has earmarked 8.2 billion cedis to support small-scale and medium enterprises in Ghana under the Growth and Opportunity Program G&O, outlawed yesterday in Accra. Under the G&O, SMEs in Ghana will have access to financial support provided by Ghana Exim Bank, Ghana Enterprises Agency, and Development Bank Ghana to grow their businesses. At the launch of the SME Growth and Opportunity Summit in Accra, President Akufo-Addo described the financial module as an intentional approach by government to provide targeted financing for SMEs to help them to develop into SME champions. The summit was themed Breaking Barriers for SME Growth.
The small and medium enterprises sector remains the pillar of the Ghanaian economy. The sector accounts for about 90% of businesses in the country, contributing almost 70% of the country's GDP and providing 80% of private sector employment. Government officials, including the President, Central Bank Governor, Ministers of Finance, Trade and Industry, policymakers and about 200 players from private enterprises, academia, business, regulatory and compliance institutions, industry, multilateral and bilateral partners and financial service providers gathered in Accra for the SME Growth and Opportunity G&O Summit. The SME G&O Summit prioritizes coordination among partner agencies, ensuring targeted delivery of financial and technical assistance to SMEs. This is expected to enhance partnerships in mobilizing diverse financial resources for SME growth and expansion, whilst finding solutions to the barriers that hinder their growth. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, averred that the economy is rebounding, with all indicators pointing to a positive trajectory, which is healthy for the growth of SMEs. The Vice President of the African Development Bank, Mr. Solomon Quainu, intimated that the bank will support the initiative with a $45 million grant.
We at the AFDB are going to provide a $45 million grant for SMEs and digitalization next year.
The Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. K.T. Hammond, touted the achievements of government in supporting SMEs since 2017.
The GEA has facilitated the establishment of over 56,000 new businesses, and more than 100,000 new jobs have been created in the SMBA sector from 2017 to 2023.
The Minister for Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, said this is a new chapter to develop the SME sector.
Our vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to create a platform for SMEs and raise SME champions to generate impact that resonates through our communities, leaving a legacy of empowerment, innovation, and prosperity for generations to come.
President Akufo-Addo outlined the financial package available under the G&O program for SMEs.
The Ministry of Finance has successfully mobilized a total of 8.2 billion cedis from both public and private sector sources, earmarked for disbursement to eligible small and medium-sized enterprises under the SME Go program. As part of the Growth and Opportunity Program, for instance, Ghana Exim Bank will set up a novel food innovation hub within the next 3 months to support all SMEs in the food industry with testing and scaling up production in a standard food processing pilots plant.
The SME Growth and Opportunity Program is spearheaded by the Ministries of Finance and Trade and Industry and the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Exim Bank and Development Bank Ghana as the implementing agency.
And President Akufo-Addo has sworn in 2 new ministers into office. They are Mr. Herbert Krapa as Minister for State of the Ministry of Energy and Mr. Kofi Ahenkrama as Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry. President Akufo-Addo charged the 2 newly appointed ministers to use their short period to bring significant changes in their respective offices.
The two ministers are Mr. Herbert Krapa, Minister of State at the Ministry of Energy, and Mr. Kofi Ahen-Kramafo, a Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry. The appointment of Mr. Krapa is as a result of the selection of former Minister Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh by the presidential candidate of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as his running mate on the ticket of the NPP for the 2024 general elections. Mr. Herbert Krapa previously served as Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry and Deputy Minister for Energy before his elevation to the Minister of State in charge of Energy. Mr. Krapa will work with the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Mr. Samuel Abu-Jinapor, who is the Supervising Cabinet Minister for the Ministry of Energy. Mr. Kofi Ahen-Kramafo is a Member of Parliament for Achiasi constituency in the Eastern region and a freight forwarder. He heads to the Ministry of Trade and Industry as a Deputy Minister. He is an experienced freight forwarder in Ghana. They were led by President Akufo-Addo to take the oath of office and oath of secrecy. President Akufo-Addo charged the two ministers to bring their best on the table to make a difference in this short period in office.
In these remaining months, I urge you to work tirelessly to ensure the fulfillment of my mandate, which is to help provide access to opportunities for growth and prosperity for every citizen, regardless of their background or circumstances of birth.
Minister of State at the Energy Ministry, Mr. Herbert Krapa, on behalf of his colleague, promised to double their efforts to achieve results in their respective ministries.
We're grateful that you gave us the opportunity to be part of what is undoubtedly a winning team. We know the immense responsibility that comes with these positions, and we make you a solemn pledge to discharge our duties with loyalty, integrity, transparency, and dedication. We're committed to helping implement your unrivaled vision for our nation, to continue to bring development and prosperity closer every day to all our people.
President Akufo-Addo urged other 7 ministers to lend them every support to facilitate their work.
Let's stay long on the Jubilee House. In his interaction with the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Kurt Campbell, President Akufo-Addo and his guests put key matters on the table, including how to deepen bilateral relations between Accra and Washington. The Jubilee House meeting was also about the U.S., how the U.S. can assist Ghana and ECOWAS region to tackle the recent increased jihadist activities in the region and along the Gulf of Guinea.
The U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Kurt Campbell, is in Ghana as part of his 4-nation tour of Africa and the United Kingdom. Ghana is the first stop for Mr. Campbell. He had earlier in the day met with youth leaders to discuss the U.S. investment in digital technology solutions. Next, he was at the seat of government, the Jubilee House, to meet with President Akufo-Addo. They had discussions on areas such as the importance of the U.S.-Ghana partnership to advance democracy and security in West Africa. Their focus was also on reinforcing two-way trade and investment ties to bolster mutual prosperity. President Akufo-Addo and his guests also discussed regional stability and maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea, especially the jihadist activities and piracy. The U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Kurt Campbell, expressed Washington's support for Ghana in the area of trade and investment, security and ICT.
We've had an opportunity to meet young, tech-savvy Ghanaians and West Africans, and I think we come here on a mission from the President of the United States, from the National Security Advisor, from the Secretary of State, to make clear to you we want to work constructively in really every area that is important to Ghana going forward.
President Akufo-Addo pointed to the recent increased activities of jihadist insurgents in the ECOWAS region as a major threat to the stability of many West African states.
We appreciate the assistance, the support that America has traditionally given to us via the Electoral Commission and other institutions towards being able to manage a credible electoral process. And we're looking forward to working with you again to ensure that result. Finding means, working towards how to resolve the security situation in the Sahel is a major security preoccupation of our country and indeed of the ECOWAS region generally.
And away from the Jubilee House to Parliament, the controversial legislative instrument LI seeking to amend portions of the Road Traffic Regulations 2012 has been withdrawn. The Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Mr. Martin J. Mensah Kosa, who withdrew the LI on behalf of the Minister for Transport in Parliament, admitted concerns raised by the public and stakeholders. The proposed amendment to the Road Traffic Regulations 2012 LI 2180 sought to grant members of Parliament the privilege to use sirens and exempt them from speed limits while performing their official duties. This sparked some backlash from the public and strong opposition from various quarters, including the Minority Caucus in Parliament, whose leader, Dr. Cassiel Atuforsin, directed their members to vote against the LI. The Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin, earlier on Tuesday, denied any knowledge of the legislative instrument before the House.
Mr. Speaker, I write to move that the Road Traffic Amendment Regulation 2024, which was laid on the Friday, 14 June 2024, be withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, this has become necessary based on extensive engagement with leadership. It is so withdrawn, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Very well. Honourable members, I think this is a simple matter. Government brought the legislation. It has decided to withdraw.
So, Mr. Speaker, they have decided that an issue of national interest is not good looking on Parliament, especially government, and they have decided to withdraw it. Mr. Speaker, we have no business talking about it, but I can just remind them there are other allies that have been laid that the public is still not happy about. I will encourage them to withdraw those ones as well. Mr. Speaker, while the Minister of Trade is here, the LI that he laid on cement is also not, the public is not happy. We also come and withdraw yours as well. Come and withdraw the cement LI as well.
I think that I want to commend leadership. Early in the morning, I engaged my colleague, and other leaders also came in and expressed same views, that there's a need for us to do the needle. I'm a bit disappointed that my respected minority leader had to issue a statement on same subject matter. I think it would have been in good taste if that statement had not been issued. The minister had done the needful. I'm sure in days to come they will get back to us, and then we can take a better appreciation of the LI.
More from Parliament. The Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mr. Mahama Yariga, says the Governor of the Central Bank has refused to answer questions on the latest cost of the BOG office complex, even though there has been several requests for him to do so. Speaking to the media in Accra, the Minority Caucus announced a planned demonstration against the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, slated for July 30, 2024. Mr. Ayaga alleged that the building in question is being constructed at $250 million. He said all is set for the march and that there will be a meeting with the police to discuss security matters.
They can't mess up the economy the way that they have and just be allowed to keep staying there and not be held accountable in any way, quite apart from the issues of what we believe to be corruption in the procurement of the head office building. What we see as a refusal of the central bank governor to account. And if you recall, when we demonstrated to the office, that's the head office building, and we demanded that he received a petition from us as a minority, he refused to be available to receive the petition, and actually publicly, described us as hooligans. And at that demonstration, if you recall, we said that we're going, but that we will come back. It is time to go back. And we are marching back to the central bank to demand the resignation of the governor and his deputies and the board of the bank. And we have written to the regional police commander. We have indicated the route we want to use and the date we have given him, which is 30th of this month. And I have received an invitation from the regional police command for a meeting. These are the ongoing processes to get us back to the streets to protest against the central bank government, and then to demand the removal of the governor and his deputies and the board, and to have a change in the leadership of the central bank so that we can have a change in the direction of the management of the finances of this country.
Away from Parliament, let's do education. Schools will be reopened for the first-year senior high school students for the 2024-2025 academic year on Friday, September 27, 2024. The Ghana Education Service has announced. Now, this is for the junior high school graduates who completed the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BCE, last Monday. In a letter dated July 15, 2024, addressed to all regional directors of education and signed by Prince C. Ajimandria, the acting director for the Schools and Instructions Division, on behalf of the Director General of GES, parents and school heads were advised to take note and prepare accordingly. Additionally, the GES stated that the vacation dates for the students will be on Friday, December 6, 2024. It was explained that all other activities and programs scheduled for the semester remain unchanged. And to petroleum, some oil marketing companies, OMCs, have adjusted fuel prices upward by 30 to 35 pesos per litre. Energy analysts attributed the increase to the depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar, despite stable global oil prices. Shell has increased its petrol price from 14 cedis 80 pesos to 15 cedis 10 pesos per litre, and diesel from 14 cedis 90 pesos to 15 cedis 25 pesos per litre. Leading OMCs, Goil and Total, have maintained their prices at 14 cedis 80 pesos for petrol and 14 cedis 92 pesos for diesel. It is unclear if they will adjust their prices within this pricing window. Other OMCs are expected to effect changes at the pumps. And to the foreign front, beginning with Africa, with most of the votes counted from Monday's election, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame is on course to extend his 24-year rule by another 5 years in a landslide victory. Partial results announced by the Electoral Commission now show that he has 99.15% of the votes so far, with about 79% of ballots counted. The full provisional results will be due by July 20th, 2024, and the final ones counted by 27th July 2024.
Mr. Kagame thanked Rwandans for their trust. In an address at his Rwandan Patriotic Front party headquarters, Mr. Kagame again faced no meaningful opposition, with leading figures spanned. His two opponents shared less than 1% of the vote. The Electoral Commission says 98% of the more than 9.5 million eligible voters took part in the elections. They were voting for a president and 53 legislators. Elections for 27 special seats meant for women, young people and people with disabilities will take place today. Mr. Kagame has been the de facto leader of Rwanda since the end of the 1994 genocide and president since 2000. Rights groups accuse him of curtailing freedoms since taking office, while his supporters say he has presided over economic growth and helped end ethnic divisions.
Gambia's lawmakers have rejected a bill seeking to overturn a 2015 ban on female genital mutilation. Speaker of the House, Fabakary Tombong Jatta, said a majority of MPs had voted against the bill even before its third and final reading due later this month. Now, the Gambia is among the 10 countries with the highest rates of FGM, with 73% of women and girls aged 15 to 49 having undergone the procedure.
Human rights groups and the UN had urged the MPs to block the bill, which was introduced in March after pressure from some Muslim clerics that the draft law tabled by Almama Geba was rejected after MPs voted against all of its proposed clauses. Ms. Jatta said the bill had been rejected and the legislative process exhausted, and therefore it could not move to the third reading. When it was introduced in March, the bill was approved by a majority of MPs, raising the prospect of the Gambia becoming the first country to overturn a ban on the practice. In the procedure's most severe form, after removing the sensitive clitoris, the genitals are cut and stitched closed so that the woman cannot have or enjoy sex. The 2015 ban introduced fines and jail terms of up to 3 years for perpetrators and life sentences if a girl died as a result. FGM is banned in more than 70 countries globally, but continues to be practiced, particularly in Muslim-majority countries such as the Gambia. Rights Lobby Action Aid had warned that any step to lift the ban would jeopardize the Gambia's progress in tackling violence against women and girls. According to the United Nations, more than 230 million girls and women around the world have had FGM.
Let's now bring you the Lotto for today, the winning numbers for our Lotto this morning. The Delta Tuesday winning numbers for Alpha Lotto are 15, 15, 49, 49, 16, 16, 65, 65, and 87, 87. Again, the winning numbers for Alpha Lotto Delta Tuesday are 15, 15, 49, 49, 16, 65, and 87, 87. And we'll be going into our BFS clinic. You can get more news when you log on to our website, gvcghanaonline.com. I am Altiti Saida Sadeka. My costume is by No Rush Collection. We'll see you in a bit with more. Stay with us.
Live from GBC Studio One, this is The Breakfast Show.
And it's very important because it's a vital organ in your body. You know, when you're eating and then there's no excretion, there's no excretion basically of waste substances, then it's going to be in your body, so it doesn't help. So the kidney is clearing away all the toxic substances that are in your body, so it's very important.
What are some of the things that we do which are mistakes as far as food and our kidney is concerned?
Okay, so what we do that makes it a problem is when we are consuming simple sugars, when we are not consuming the right amount of fruits and vegetables, when we are eating too many junk food, we are taking alcohol, we are smoking, we are not exercising. All those things form parts of unhealthy things we do that affect our kidneys.
So exactly what happens? Is it like it puts a load on the kidney? I mean, if I'm eating too much of the stuff that is bad, alcohol, junk food, what goes on?
Let me use salt as an example. If you take a lot of salt, right, it makes you thirsty. There's water retained in your body, and when that happens, it increases your blood pressure. When your blood pressure increases, the kidney is unable to function the way it's supposed to function. So that's one typical example. When you're taking salt foods, so there's a lot of salt in the food. When you're taking all that, it's going to put stress on your kidney. When you're not exercising, when you're taking alcohol, all those things is putting a lot of pressure on your kidney. There's high blood pressure. Your kidney is basically going to fail at a point in time.
Okay. So now we know what the mistakes are.
Yes.
What are the foods that will make our kidney smile?
So the foods that will make our kidney smile, I categorized it into carbohydrates, proteins, fats, sodium, and potassium. When you're looking at carbohydrates, you're looking at high fiber. So we are looking at the whole grain cereals. We are looking at the fruits and vegetables that has high fiber. A whole grain cereal, we have examples of oats, wheat, millet, basic cereals we eat in Ghana. Right. When you take fats, we have the unsaturated fats, which is the healthier option. So the avocado, the eggs, the extra virgin olive oil, the salmon, which is a good option. When we take proteins, we also have the eggs, we have salmon, we have good seafood. Seafood is also a feasible idea. Yes, tuna. Okay. Tuna has omega-3 fatty acids. Then when we look at the sodium foods, we can use the natural herbs instead of using the processed meals or a lot of salts, condiments, and the likes.
Okay. So so you've gone through all the 5 groups that you talked about?
I think I left out potassium. So potassium, you have to consume low amounts of potassium foods. So even though banana and plantain has high amounts of potassium, there's a way to go about it. So what we do with foods that are high in potassium is the starchy roots and plantain, for instance, we soak it in water for a long period of time. Okay. So between like 45 minutes to an hour before we do the cooking, then we discard the water before we use a new amount of water to cook it. So that reduces the sodium content. Same goes with green leafy vegetables, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this morning I had oats and some groundnuts. My kidney should be smiling?
Yeah, your kidney should be smiling.
Okay.
Your kidney should be smiling because there's high fiber. There's high fiber in the oats. There's also good fats from the peanuts that you took. Okay. Did you take milk and sugar?
No, I just had oats, no sugar, no milk, and some groundnuts.
Okay.
Yes, I'm running away from sugar. Yeah, and milk. So with potassium, you're talking about bananas and plantains.
Plantain. I mean, there are other food sources, but the common one we all know is the banana and the plantain. So I decided to stick to that.
Can you eat too much of a good thing and stress your kidneys?
Yes. Last week I spoke about moderation. In our field of study, in our world as dietitians, in the healthy eating era, it's most important to moderate everything you eat. Don't eat too much, don't eat too little, because there's an adage that says too much of everything is bad. So moderation is key. Everything has to be a little at a time, the portion that your dietitian has given to you to take.
Okay. So far we've talked about the stuff that is good for us to make our kidneys happy. What about if somebody is already has kidney issues? Do they add a dietitian services to that person's treatment plan? And then tell me how that will work out.
Yes, it's very important to have a dietitian when you have a kidney problem, because a dietitian is going to help regulate your fluid intake, your proteins, other nutrients present in your meal. And if you're on dialysis too, there's some calculations that has to be done with regards to how you're taking your fluids, how you're taking your protein. So it's very important to have a dietitian if you are noted to have a kidney problem.
What are some of the good news stories that you can share with somebody who had kidney issues and is working with you to watch what they eat?
I have a story. I think way back 3 years ago, I met this client, had several conditions, can't talk about, but kidney was prominent, and she was put on a kidney diet. I mean, a diet basically to manage her kidney, and for over 2 weeks to about a month, you realize that she was getting better, because she even had edema. Edema is retention of water in your system.
Is that when you press the skin and your finger can go in because there's water all around?
Exactly. So after she met a dietitian, after we went through all the process, after about 2 or 3 weeks, she realized that the edema was gone. She was feeling much better. Even though she was on dialysis, she felt much better. So dietitians are very important in this aspect.
Okay. How about those who just eat plants, vegetarians and vegans? Will they have issues?
Not necessarily. It's advisable to take more plant-based proteins even than the animals, because those ones put us at the high risk of cholesterol levels, which can also lead to kidney issues. So plant-based products are much more needed when you have a kidney problem.
You know, you have some of these fad diets, keto and all kinds of, they come and go. How do they affect the kidney?
If you have a kidney issue, it's advisable to see your dietitian. With all the vegan diets, keto diets and the likes, just see a dietitian to draft one for you, because all these diets have implications on a person, because we have different types of diets: the carbohydrate modified diets, the DASH diets, which is the dietary approach to stop hypertension. There's several ones. So based on the disease condition that you are presenting with, it is advisable that you see a dietitian to help you regulate it for you.
How about fasting? Does fasting affect kidney?
Fasting affects us in so many ways. It affects our metabolism in so many ways. So like I said in my previous submission, see your dietitian, because the dietitian will be able to know what's the level of your condition and how best to regulate it, because we have several stages. For
kidney wellness, 055-556-1034. For kidney wellness, 055-556-1034 is the WhatsApp number. Now, so
basic artificial spices, and then take into consideration low amounts of sodium in your meals. Like I said, if you are not having a kidney problem, you can eat your meals in moderation. But if you have a kidney problem, see a dietitian. And with the starchy roots and plantain and the leafy green vegetables, soak them in water for a period of time before you cook it.